Ultra-Orthodox lawmakers in the Knesset are now going for the hat trick, this time targeting both public transportation and work permits for Tel Aviv and its surrounding cities on the Sabbath. Shas party lawmakers explained their position to the Transportation Ministry in a letter stating Amendment 28 of the Transportation Regulations enables the Transportation Minister to rescue the honor of Shabbat, and that the amendment states that the minister will take Jewish tradition into account as much as possible when it comes to prohibiting the movement of vehicles on the days of rest. In other words, reducing the desecration of Shabbat and Jewish holy days on public transportation. The letter goes on to describe their demands to cancel shared taxi permits and more. So the first question is, I looked up the demographics today. Israel is the homeland of the Jewish people, but more than half of the country identifies as some degree or secular or even not Jewish at all. This is demographics of the entire country. So are these restrictive practices not discriminatory? Dov Lipman, I'm going to start with you.
There's no doubt that I would love to see an Israel where Israelis are observing Shabbat. I would love it. I think that the country needs it. I think that on a spiritual level, on a family level, it enriches people's lives. And I would like nothing more than to inspire people to observe Shabbat, whether it's exactly the way I do, the way they want to do. But the concept, I would like to see a Jewish state which is permeated with Shabbat. The way to accomplish that is not to legislate, it's not to forbid, it's to inspire. Let people see the beauty of the way we live our lives when we observe the Shabbat, how much it adds to our Shabbat. The moment legislation is used and people feel coerced, all that does is push people further and further away from Shabbat. It could be that religious lawmakers can pound their chests and say, look what I did, I'm so religious, I force other people to have to observe the Shabbat. But if we're thinking about the Jewish people, and we're thinking about our future, and we're thinking about inspiration, we're getting nowhere in the process, and we're just pushing people further and further away. So I am happy that Israel is a state that has rules about Shabbat. I'm happy that transportation is more limited on Shabbat. I think it's important to set a certain tone in the country, but to reach a point where we will absolutely shut down anybody's ability to function if they are secular, from my perspective, that's destructive to the goal of religious unity. It's destructive to religion as a whole. It's destructive to the venture that we're calling a Jewish state.